Hello, I'm glad you're here. So, today we're talking about for things to change, you have to change. Um, One of the quotes I read, I think my mom shared this with me. One of those that she said, "Hey, here's something for you to look into and do." So, here we are. And it was, don't expect to get different results when you keep doing the same things over and over. For things to change, you have to change. And so today we're in Matthew 15, verses 1 through 3. And it says, Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the traditions of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But then he answered and said unto them, Why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? So the Pharisees were a religious sect that focused more on the traditions than the actual Word of God. They wanted to come and attack Jesus, claiming that they had violated an important tradition. And, it was that Jesus' followers did not wash their hands before they ate bread. You would think that they would have bigger things to worry about than who washed their hands and who didn't. It just sounds like a lot of today of hearing people complain or be offended by the smallest of the most ridiculous things. So the Pharisees, they sought to really just hold on to those traditions instead of focusing more on the Word of God. They wanted to hold on to their customs and their traditions, and that's what their focus was. They wanted to do more of that instead of finding out more about who this Jesus is, and following him. They actually didn't have any respect for Jesus at all. Sometimes we get so set in our ways and we want to do the same things over and over, but we don't see the results that we want to see. We just keep thinking, but this is the way we've always done it. I remember at work, it's been several years ago, they started looking to come up with some new processes and a new way of doing things because the systems had changed, and now the old processes weren't really working for the new system. So they began looking at our processes of how we did things. And one of the questions they asked was, why do you do it this way? And our answer was, it's the way we've always done it. We didn't know another way. And so as they began looking at it, they saw that some changes needed to be made. None of us were really sure about changes being made. Some of us didn't like it. I've told y'all before, I don't like change. But as they started rearranging and doing the new processes, we started seeing that with the new process, there was a better workflow. And looking back at the old way, we could see that we had been working harder and not smarter. The old way was taking us longer, and now the new way with the new system is helping us get things done quicker. And we're, in the old way, we were kind of double duty, and we were kind of doing longer processes, and so the new changes helped us to not be doing unnecessary or double work, and it shortened our time of how we were doing things so we could work quicker and smarter, and we saw that we were more efficient with the new processes. So I've seen, kind of the same thing in churches. We get so set in our ways and in our traditions, and this is the way we do things here, that we lose sight of what's really important and why we're missing the point of why we're really here. And, I remember it's been several years ago, and I've seen it happen in a couple of different churches where, you have your church service, you come in and you have your singing, you have your meet and greet time, you have your prayer announcements, and then the preaching, offering, more singing, and then you're ready to go. Well, several years ago, one of our preachers he needed to go help out another church because I'm not sure what happened with their preacher, but they were needing help, and so that he could take care of our church and their church, he decided to change up our service, where now he was going to preach at the very beginning, and then we would do singing, and then we would do offering, and threw us all off. The whole thing just felt kind of weird. But he had to do what he needed to do for our church and for the other church, because they were in need at that time. So a lot of times we have to make adjustments and look at new ways of doing things and not get so caught up in our traditions or our customs and the way that we do things, or that's the way we've always done it. Sometimes there needs to be a change, and sometimes that change needs to be in you and me. And, we can't get so caught up in those things that we lose sight, like I said, of what we're there for in the first place. And, we need to remember that we're there to honor, to praise, and worship Jesus. Bottom line, that's what we're there for. We're there to share Jesus and to pray for others and to spend time worshiping Him. It doesn't matter what order the service is, or what color the carpet is, or where someone is sitting, or what order the service takes place. If our focus is on Jesus, then none of the rest of that matters. Our number one priority is coming to honor Him, to worship Him, to learn more of Him, to grow more in Him, and just to strengthen and grow our relationship in Him. And if we're not there to be focused on Him, we're missing the point. So we can't just keep doing the same things over and over and expect to get the same result. Because sometimes we need to do new things. Sometimes we need to change things up because the old ways aren't working anymore. And we don't need to get so caught up in our traditions and our customs and remember why we're there, so that we don't miss the point. So I hope that you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.